Lately, I've been thinking a lot about health. Not in the dramatic, fair filled way people usually talk about it. Not in the aesthetic wellness way either. Just in a very simple, very human way. The kind of thinking that comes when you're reminded that your body is not a machine. It's not something you can endlessly ignore, push, deprive, stress, and then expect to keep performing well for you. I recently came across someone who had a ruptured stomach. I don't know the full circumstances surrounding it, so I will not pretend that I do. But even hearing that was enough to stop me in my tracks. I think it made me think about my own stomach. This very organ that quietly works for me every single day, breaking down food, processing, tolerating, and it keeps going. When I realize how easy it is to live as though health is a given, and it is definitely not. As though the body owes us function, as though tomorrow is promised in the same condition as today, but it is not. It really isn't. So I'll be starting the day with something nutritious. It's not perfect, it's not some medical miracle. It's just an honest reflection of me trying to nourish myself with more thoughts. Breakfast for me is one of those meals that sets the tone. If I start the day carelessly, I usually feel it later. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. There is something about eating in the morning that feels like a decision to participate in your own wellness, decision to not leave your body empty and then blame it for feeling weak, irritable, or foggy. And I think many of us have normalized undernourishment, skipping meals, rushing, eating things that fill the stomach but do not serve the body, and then wonder why we crash, why our mood is unstable, why our head hurts, why our skin changes, why our body feels like it is dragging itself throughout the day. Of course, life is expensive. Of course, not everyone has time, resources, or ease that they would like. I know that. I'm very much aware. But within what I can do, I want to start treating nourishment as wisdom, not luxury. Because somehow we live in a world where people will hesitate over buying fruit, good protein, or better ingredients, even when they can afford it, but later be forced into expensive medical costs, supplements, treatments, and medications that make the earlier spending look almost merciful. That is the irony. We often resist preventive care because it feels optional until the body reminds us it never was. So, with breakfast, I try to think about balance, something that gives me energy, something that does not immediately spike and drop me, something that feels like kindness. And maybe that sounds dramatic for breakfast, but honestly, I do not think it is. Every meal is either helping you, hurting you, or holding you somewhere in between. I think I want more of my meals to help me. And you should too. There's some gifts that you cannot fully appreciate until they're interrupted. Good sleep, a working stomach, energy, ease in your body, the ability to eat, digest, move, and simply feel normal. Normal is such an underrated blessing. So, this video is about food, yes, but more than that, it's about gratitude. It's about being intentional. It's about trying in my own small way to nourish myself before my body has to force my attention. Because truly, it's better to spend a little on nourishing yourself now than to be forced to spend thousands later trying to stay alive, trying to stay functioning, trying to recover from what you recklessly wore down. I do not say that to be harsh. I say it because I'm learning to. Tea has become one of my quiet form of care. Not just because I enjoy it, though I do, but because it slows me down. It asks something of me to boil water, to wait, to steep, to sip. There is intention in tea, and maybe that is part of why I've grown to love it. In a world that encourages excess, speed, and carelessness, tea feels like the opposite. It feels like choosing to notice. Lunch has come around. I like to check in with myself again. How do I feel? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I craving something because my body needs it or because I am tired, stressed, and looking for comfort in the fastest form available? I ask that without judgment because I do not believe health grows well in shame. You cannot bully yourself into well being. You cannot insult your body into flourishing. You cannot hate yourself into healthy habits that last. Real care is firmer than that, but also gentler. Lunch for me is another opportunity to choose something grounding, something with substance, something my body can recognize as support. I think we underestimate how much our day is shaped by the quality of what we consume, not just in the obvious physical way, but mentally too. There's a difference between being fed and being nourished, a massive difference. Being fed just means something went in. Nourishment means something helpful went in, something that has enough thought behind it to support life, not merely silence hunger. And I want to become someone who values nourishment, not in a rigid way, not in a punishing way, but in a deeply respectful way. Because my body deserves more than whatever is the easiest all the time. My stomach deserves more than constant confusion. My health deserves more than being treated like an afterthought. My health is my wealth. I think health often begins with noticing. Noticing that you're always tired. Noticing that your body feels inflamed. Noticing that your stomach is unhappy. Noticing that you only drink water when you're already desperate. Noticing that headache has become normal. Noticing that normal should maybe not feel like suffering. I've realized that many of us are disconnected from our bodies because life rewards disconnection. They say push through, ignore it, but the body keeps scores in its own way. So even small things like reaching for tea feels meaningful to me right now. It's dinner time. I want food that feels like a landing, something satisfying, something that tells my body the day is winding down. I am thinking about it with care. I think dinner can be such a beautiful meal when you let it be, not just because of what is on the plate, but because it is a chance to choose to close the day intentionally. To ask, how did I treat myself today? Did I nourish myself? Did I hydrate? Did I push through exhaustion and call it strength? Did I listen? Did I ignore? Some days the answers are not flattering, but I'm learning that awareness is still a form of progress. What matters is not pretending I have mastered any of this. What matters is that I'm paying attention now, that I am becoming less careless with my own life. And maybe that is really what healthy eating means for me these days. Not aesthetic meals, not diet culture, not punishment, not chasing some perfect version of myself, just less carelessness, more thoughts, more gratitude, more support, more honesty. I want meals that feel like I remembered myself, meals that feel like I did not wait until crisis to care. I think one of the most dangerous things we can do as humans is to assume there will always be more time. More time to take care of ourselves, more time to take care of our loved ones, more time to drink water, more time to eat better, more time to rest, more time to stop ignoring symptoms, more time to slow down, more time to listen. And maybe there'll be more time, but maybe not in the way we imagine. The truth is, health is one of those things we keep borrowing from until the bill arrives. I do not want to live my life only learning through emergency. I do not want my body to have to drag me into awareness. I want to meet it halfway now. So this is what I eat in a day. Not because I think a single day of food can transform a life, but because I think intention matters. Because I think small acts of care matter. Because I think appreciating the gift of a working stomach, a functioning body, and the ability to nourish yourself is worth talking about. Today I'm grateful for water, for tea, for food that sits well, for a stomach that still works for me, for a body that carries me, for the quiet mercy of normal health. And maybe that is the real point of this video. So remember that health is not guaranteed. It's a gift, a quiet one, an easy to ignore one, but a gift all the same. So I'm trying to treat it that way, not perfectly, but intentionally. And I think that this is a good place to begin. This is a reminder that the little actions that we take every day matter. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.